So if you use a 20-second technique, you can actually change your habits. I'll give you an example. If you try to do something within 20 seconds, that's something difficult for you that you've always hated all along. Like, I'll give you an example. You finish eating and you don't do the dishes, right? You're like, I always have a pile of dishes waiting for me, blah, blah, blah. I hate doing the dishes since I was young, whatever. Try doing the 20-second rule where you do the dishes immediately after eating.
Yeah.
Right? And do it within the 20 seconds, like, and then you realize whether it gets easier for you as you go.
Yeah.
Or it's the other way around. If you have a habit that you want to get off, try delaying doing it for 20 seconds.
Questions for a bigger conversation. Sponsored by MTN. MTN. Everywhere you go.
It's my kind of conversation for Monday. I have Nasa with me in the studios. Good morning, Nasa, and welcome.
Good morning, my neighbors. Eddie Murphy will never, ever, ever stop being the greatest of all times. Yeah.
Very interesting. It's a very special week, by the way. Very special in every sense. But on and on and on and on, I get to hear men who have never, in any sense, celebrated Valentine's. Is it that you gifted people on Valentine's, but you are not celebrated?
I think if you get socks on Valentine's after buying that new RAV4, then you deserve it. Like, why are you...
I feel like you know it's done.
Why are you buying RAV4s? Like, first wait, get your socks, then also buy leggings or something. Something equivalent. Match the energy. You guys are sending flowers and whatever and whatever. I feel like, it for me, Valentine's doesn't make sense. And this is just personal to me. You don't have to have one day in a year where you celebrate your spouse, right? It has to be every day. Every day is Valentine's. Of course, everyone is laughing out there. They're like, this guy is the advocate for those men. On your birthday, I just post you on my status and be like, today a queen was born, but you're not getting any presents.
Listen, we guys, I'm not part of this guy's things. When they're cancelling him, he's alone.
I'm already cancelled.
You don't fear it.
I've been cancelled one too many times. Yeah.
No, but I mean, the expectations are just up there for so many people. Like, everyone is going to be waiting. Friday, is anyone dropping in roses at the office? And you don't want, colleagues at work to make you feel a certain way when it's just you who's not receiving nothing.
Yeah. I think, Jesse, we confuse two different things here. And I've been doing this for quite some time. Guys, I'm here to develop you. I told you guys that I give good advice. I also give free advice, but never in the same setting. So today I'm giving good advice. Stop confusing your expectations for your standards. They're two different things.
What do you mean?
I'll give you an example. Have you had conversations where people say, I can't date a person who doesn't drive, right? So that may sound like a standard, right? Maybe it's a standard. Yeah. But then now the expectation comes in. Why did you not drop me? I don't know if I'm making sense. Yeah. So me not dropping you is an expectation. You not dating guys who don't drive is a standard. Those are two different things. Now, if you can't date guys who don't drive, try and buy yourself a car as well so that you don't have the expectation to get dropped. I don't know if I'm making sense. The rule has an expectation. But anyway, that's not where we are here today. Today we are here to talk about why I'm here every Monday. I'm not going to go deep down into that stuff, like whatever we were getting into. Let's roll this back a bit.
It is the essence of why we are here.
No, we are not here for that. Today we are here
to change mindsets.
Today we are here to talk about some of the greatest myths that you guys have been lied to. And I've been talking about change all this time. Guys, one of the greatest lies you've ever experienced is you've been convinced that beyond a certain age, you cannot change who you are. You can't change your mind. You can't change your character. But guys, you're always changing your hair. You're always changing your nails. You can even change your eye color. You're always changing your religion. You're changing your values, but you can't change your mind. Are you serious right now? So here's the thing. I'm going to talk about a bunch of random things today that show how the environment is changing your mind for you. And then you realize it's actually a good thing for you to change your mind yourself, like consciously. So whatever I'm going to talk about today is subconsciously changing your mind for you, yet you should consciously be changing your mind. So guys, this year is a year for you guys to change yourselves if you want to. And please do not be convinced by people. One of the things that's going to give you a difficulty is how people out there will find you trying to change yourself or to improve yourself and then make fun of you. Like they'll find you on Duolingo trying to learn Russian and they're like, at your age, you're trying to learn a new language. You can't learn a new language. Who told you that there's an age where you can't learn?
But where does that leave the old time saying that you can only correct yourself young?
Yeah, that's not true.
Above a certain
that is not
limit of time and age, it can be quite complicated and impossible, or you would break.
That is definitely not true. That is not true. So I'm going to give a bunch of random things. Like I'll start with the science of small things, right? Yeah. Did you know that yawning is contagious? I'm not going to give you an explanation why that is. A lot of you people, if you have notebooks, take this down, go and do your research. Find out if I'm lying. And next week, if you find out I was correct about this, then you can change your mind.
I know it is contagious, but when I see someone yawning, because I know the effect, most of the time, I restrain myself. When I see them yawn, I restrain myself from doing the same thing.
So there's a built-in survival mechanism for human beings to keep groups alert. That's why yawning is contagious. But I won't give you the science. That's for you guys to go and do your research. Yeah. My listeners on Monday are supposed to be those people who chat GPT stuff or Gemini stuff or, I don't know, whatever AI you guys use, DeepSeek, Claude. Claude my statements and see if they're correct. And if you find out I'm correct, change your mind. The second one I'm coming up with, which is random. Did you know that ice water tastes better?
100%.
I'm not going to tell you the science behind. Find out for yourself.
Iced water.
Ice water. Like basically not room temperature water. Water which is cold tastes better.
But we've been advised not to drink
by who?
Cold water.
By
who is they? Who
by the medics.
By who? I'm pretty sure that's not correct.
It's better for you to take water at room temperature.
And then my all-time favorite, which everyone is going to roast me about, if you chew gum, like chewing gum, while studying, you remember the stuff. There's also a psychology behind that.
Okay.
It's true. Like, your memory is better when you're chewing.
Just a memory to serve me right. Are you allowed to queue when you get into a study room at school?
I always do. If I have a chance to, I'll do it. I don't know who's going to tell me to get something out of my mind.
Do you tend to remember most of the things you study?
I don't know how to connect that dot, but I'll try.
Guys, look into it. Look into it.
Like,
don't take my random nonsense on face value. I'm going to give out another one, which is also nonsense. Did you know that if you walk through a doorway, it makes you forget things?
Bars.
So what are you supposed to walk through?
No, like if you walk through a doorway, like if you're in one room, right? The sitting room as an example, or the living room. If you're Americans call them living rooms. British people call them sitting rooms.
French people call them parlor.
Yes.
The parlor.
Yes. So if you're in the sitting room and then you open a door to your bedroom, you're going to forget a couple of things. Walking through the door, like if you're aware that you're walking through a door, you're gonna forget some things. Like basically it's called the event boundary. Guys, look into the event boundary, find out if I'm lying.
Event
boundary.
It's
called the event boundary in psychology.
Does that justify the reason why people should be journaling all the time?
Actually, if you walk back in the room you were in previously, you retrieve some of your memories.
Interesting.
No, guys, seriously. I'm probably making this stuff up as I go, but guys, do your research. Then when we check back in next week and you find I was correct, then you'll change your mind. The idea of me giving you all this random nonsense is because I want you to understand that your environment is changing you for you instead of you changing your mind for yourself, like consciously changing yourself. You're subconsciously being changed by something else.
I hope in one of your statements we'll find something that says when a woman gives a man money, this happens. Waiting for it.
Now you're taking us back to relationships. I hate relationships as a conversation or as a concept. It is so subjective. Relationships.
NASA, by the way, is a very dangerous individual. I'm not saying that you have a certain... what's the word? Toxic vibe to you, you know?
Now he's using the word toxic, which we explained a couple of weeks back. So a person is never toxic. It is the things they do and say that create a toxic environment, right? So I probably create for you a toxic environment.
Is it a social experiment or you do it it's just reactionary? Which one is it?
I guess it depends on your background and culture because there are people out there who would say, I am the ambassador of the useless.
Really? Oh Lord.
Do you find him toxic with the information he's giving you today?
Okay, no, he has a certain way about him. I won't say all the way. I won't say he's toxic all the way. I feel like he's experimenting with toxic, and he's using that type of social coding to get information he wants from people. He wants to see if it works. He wants to see if it's true that someone who is toxic has better results with a certain group of people.
Earlier on, you said that you don't subscribe to his school of thought, that especially his views about Valentine's. Did you find that toxic in any way?
I didn't find it toxic. I'm trying to be more toxic, actually, man. I'm adding 10% more toxicity. Guys, listen out there. We need to be more toxic. We're being too nice and we're getting run through. It's not healthy. You need to have some type of boundary with these women you're dealing with. Otherwise, you're going to end up broke and lonely.
Just say, I am terrified that I have created a monster.
I'm telling you, I'm just adding 10% in the cup.
That was never
intention at all.
That was never my intention. First of all, guys, buy those Valentine gifts. Buy those Valentine gifts because, guys, I'm not going to be there with you when you're single in your relationship, when you've been broken up with. Keep doing what you do, guys, because if
guys, Nasa is very dangerous. He has thrown me under the bus. Hey, the owner of Mike was saying I'm dangerous. I'll finish everyone. Now he's here saying, don't change your...
So it's very simple. The thing you need to understand is that today we are talking about changing, right? Are you changing in a good way? Are you changing in a bad way? Are you changing in a negative way? Are you changing in a positive way? The idea is that, are you changing, and do you know that you're changing? Because a lot of people are not self-aware, so they never know when they're changing. Like what you guys use as a statement for toxic, there are people out there who do not know that they're creating a toxic environment because it is what it is. They just live their lives the way they live their lives, but they never take so much thought into looking into what it is they do or what it is they say. I'm a big advocate for people who know what they're doing, people who know what's happening. So if you choose to be, you use the word toxic, right? So if you choose to be toxic, do it consciously, not subconsciously. Don't start making excuses, because I've met a lot of people who do a lot of things, especially after taking alcohol, and then the next day they give the excuse and say, I was drunk, nah, guys, come on. So the thing is, there's a part of your brain called the basoganglia. If you guys want to...
Ganglia?
Ganglia. It's the basal ganglia. That's the part of your brain that's responsible for automatic behaviors. And that's where your habits come from. So if you use a 20-second technique, you can actually change your habits. I'll give you an example. If you try to do something within 20 seconds, that's something difficult for you that you've always hated all along. Like, I'll give you an example. You finish eating and you don't do the dishes, right? You're like, I always have a pile of dishes waiting for me, blah, blah, blah. I hate doing the dishes since I was young, whatever. Try doing the 20-second rule where you do the dishes immediately after eating. Right? And do it within the 20 seconds, and then you realize whether it gets easier for you as you go. Or it's the other way around. If you have a habit that you want to get off, try delaying doing it for 20 seconds.
Okay.
20 seconds?
Just 20 seconds.
I feel like super short.
Just count. Just breathe in, breathe out, and count and be like 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. Like, you feel like you want to have a smoke. Just count 20 seconds.
Well, somebody mentioned...
You want to text back,
somebody said,
but that's a different story altogether.
It's been said that if you want to change your habits, you don't have to replace your habits. Okay? I mean, you don't have to remove the habits.
I disagree with Jesse, because he always says it's been said.
Listen, you do not remove your habits. You replace the habits.
Okay.
Is that true?
Not true.
Why do you think
you may...
But if you want to change your habits, you don't necessarily remove the habit, but replace the habit with something else.
I think that's the easiest way to basically change for the positive. You know what I mean, right?
Go ahead.
But the psychology behind is that you're convincing yourself that you're changing a habit by saying you're replacing it. The lingo there is the replacement thing in your mind that's helping you, you know what I mean? But you could actually add more habits on top of what you have as habits without actually replacing them, and do both at the same time.
And if they're bad habits?
I thought it's all good.
No. You know, I've heard it's very dangerous.
You have
to
a choice.
Multitasking is it's a limiting thing. So let's say you're at work, you listen to something while you're typing up your work. you're less focused. Actually, it tricks you to think that you're actually doing something when you're not. So if you really want to accomplish a task, what you're supposed to do is focus on that task wholly. Don't multitask. It makes it harder for you to pay attention.
Multitasking is only hard for men because of the psychology of men, which I don't want to get into right now. But in the psychology of women, how women think, women can multitask so many things at the same time. They are known to be the only type of people that can properly and successfully multitask. Have you ever had a conversation with a woman about maybe a project you're working on together? The way they will explain the information to you, women explain in context. Men explain in content. Ooh. That is the difference. So men, we talk about content. Women talk about context. So that's why women can multitask. So for a guy, if you're being asked about what color of tables should we buy for the office, you're probably going to have a bit of a challenge there. You want to get information in form of, there's this type of table, it's this color, costs this much money. There's this type of table, it's this color, costs this much money, has these measurements. Now that's content for you, so that you can digest it and know, based on my budget, we can buy 5 of these, 2 of that, 3 of that. For women, it's a different thing. There's additional information behind. There's context. Women are going to process, how does the room look like? If we place these there, how will they contrast with the colors of the curtains? And now, if they give you all this information all at once, your mind is going to shut down because you have male psychology. For female psychology, the context is, let's not first talk about prices and also understand how these things fit into the space before we choose to buy them and how many.
Yeah, that's why they say women are really better than men. You agree?
I wouldn't go as far as saying better. I would not go all the way over there.
I'm not saying women are better or men are better. I'm simply saying I don't think either is better. You need to understand something about women and men were never meant to be
compared,
adversarial. We are not we are not supposed to be at loggerheads with each other.
That's exactly
We're supposed to complement each other. There are things women can do that men can never do. Then there are things
I want to put it this way: there are things women can do better.
No, not better. I'll give you an example.
We're going to argue about
there is no man that can have a baby.
Absolutely.
That one is, you're taking it too far. That's the biological side. But there's things that women can learn from men. So like a woman will be at let's say professionally, a woman will be at an office, and she'll put in all the hours, but she'll never be assertive enough to say, I think I need a raise. How much time?
I disagree.
I'm telling you now, it's not subjective. What women can learn from men is to be assertive. Like if they want something, they can go ahead.
You have clearly not met assertive women.
I have not met enough. They're very timid.
I'll introduce you to some.
Maybe they're not some just
CEOs,
several.
Yes.
Some CEOs.
Yes.
But I'm talking about the majority.
No, I disagree. I don't think that has anything to do with the gender. I think that has to do with character. It's a known fact that has nothing to do with gender. I don't think it's a gender thing. I think it's a character thing. There are people who are, just say there was a show we did many months back, probably a year ago, where we were talking about people with a character that is, there are characters that are, people that have a character that is pushy in nature, and then there are people that have a character that is laid back in nature. So it has nothing to do with genders. I think you just meet one or the other. And in his case, he's probably met most of those people who are laid back in nature. He has met are usually women, but it's not a gender thing. I think it's a character thing. Fair enough. You will meet women who are also who love conflict. I think it was the conversation we had about conflict. Yes.
Women who love conflict?
They exist. Very much so.
Just like they
men,
just love chaos?
No, it's not chaos. Conflict is a different thing. Like conflict is when two parties are in some sort of tandem about something to agree on what comes what and who comes out at the top. And usually, depending on your character, you might win in a conflict or lose. I don't know if I'm making sense. But this has nothing to do with genders. It is generally a character thing. So you will find women who are very good at conflict, and they will probably win if you get into that kind of situation
I
with
do
them.
not agree now.
And then you will find men who are
Conflict,
also good at conflict,
zero.
or you will find men who are not good at conflict. So I don't think it has anything to do with genders. But anyway, the take home from today is that, guys, I've told you a bunch of random facts. I'm going to repeat them so that you can go find out if they are true. If you find out this stuff I'm saying is made up, then never take my word for it. If you find out what I'm saying is true, then the main message today is change your mind. You can change your mind. You can change everything about yourself.
Listen.
Change your style, it's allowed. Change your mind, it's allowed.
Yawning is contagious.
Hey.
Ice water tastes better. If you walk through a doorway, you'll forget some things. Guys, do your research. Don't ever take my word for it. Also, the 20-second rule, which I spoke about, which is that if you want to change a habit about yourself, make it 20 seconds harder to do or 20 seconds easier to do. Slowly by slowly, you'll be easy. It will become easy for you to do.
Okay, let me drag you a little
Chewing
bit.
gum helps you remember.
Let me drag you a little bit back into the myth of the African society,
Yeah.
where we have been told that if you are getting out of your house and you found a rat crossing the road,
What?
yeah, that's a bad luck day. So get back to the house.
A rat.
A rat crossing the
Wow.
road. Is that part of the things, the psychology of the small things?
Yeah, no. There's what we call myths. There's also what we call, I probably use the word myths. Things that have been stories over the years and the years. I mean, like a lot of people have myths. I know kids think about Santa. They think Santa is real. They also go to watch that Lion King movie, even though in the first 20 seconds of the movie,
Yeah.
I'm like, should I tell them that Mufasa dies?
Don't do that. Don't be that guy, man. Come on. So you also be the guy going around telling kids, making kids cry.
Like, don't waste your time. Mufasa dies. Like, guys,
Damn,
chill.
bro.
I'll show you better things to watch.
Life is about the
Lion
ride,
King is,
man.
you know?
Not about the like destination.
So just say the rat thing. I don't think that's true. Okay, this is personal to me. That's why I
Yeah.
keep saying this is subjective. I'm not the type that believes in luck. I don't think I'm a lucky person. I don't
Yeah.
think I've ever been lucky all
What
my
do you
life.
think you are,
I don't think my life has anything to do with luck. I
No,
think you make
yeah.
your own luck.
Of course, you definitely make your own luck.
I
I
think
agree. But
the
there's sometimes
things you
where
do
yeah.
will affect your outcomes.
This is how I want us to conclude this conversation today.
Yeah.
There is this saying around us, you know, uko bimeze, that is the way it is. Don't think you are coming here to change things. Have you heard that when you walk into this corporate organization?
Like in a French accent, when in Rome,
And-
do as the Romans do.
Whoa.
When in Rome.
Whoa.
You know?
Like, don't think you really come and change much here. The tradition has been cemented. You do not expect too much to change. And people, I don't know, we call it code.
Yeah.
In Kenya, Rwanda, go to the code. Things are meant to be a certain way. You can't just change them and flip them around, okay? How do we take away this mindset
I think I'm going
adapting?
I'm going to quote the great author Pramod Batra from India.
Yeah.
He said, never overestimate your power to change others. And in that situation, never underestimate your power to change yourself. So what I'm talking about today is changing yourself.
Yeah.
For others, not so much. Do this for yourself.
But the change that happens within
The house
you,
has to be in order first.
Yes, never overestimate your power to change others, because when you don't change them, it will frustrate you.
Exactly.
The only thing you can do is change yourself. Maybe they'll follow, maybe they won't.
they say just like yawning, you could change and it becomes contagious change. How things are done.
It's definitely,
Isn't it?
it's definitely aspirational to think about changing other people, but in the reality of it is, it's so much harder to change the next person than change yourself. You need to keep your house in order
you can change
first.
yourself, learn a new language, stop buying presents on Valentine, or start buying presents on Valentine,
Hey, that's
start
the
buying
change,
flowers. Yeah, whichever side you want to go to,
Yeah.
whatever works, right?
Yeah.
Start buying those flowers, be a bit more romantic, be a bit less romantic. Either way, change yourself.
By
Because
the
today
way,
change is coming.
For NASA who wants to act like the hard guy,
Hard guy.
we'll find him at Kigali Heights. There's a corner where they sell flowers, and Good luck to you, man, for Friday.
As in buying flowers. I mean, I could change for the better.
Nasa is the type of guy to buy himself flowers.
I could
He'll
change
just get
for
the
the
bouquet
better.
and take it home. This is my flowers. These are my flowers.
Oh, and one last thing before you guys go.
Yeah.
If it ain't broken, don't fix it.
Eish.
If it's not broken,
Don't fix it. Like, don't start buying flowers just because everyone is buying flowers.
Yeah.
If your girlfriend or your boyfriend likes you as toxic as you are,
Yeah.
stay toxic.
I don't want to believe that myth. I feel like every girl is expecting something. Even like my mom still expects something from my dad. That up to now, and these are grown adults. So that thing, the peer pressure around it also works. You don't want to make your girl feel like smaller than everyone else or shrink herself just because you're toxic and you have a belief that, listen, for me, I don't believe in Valentine's. A babe will hit you with a stick on the head.
You can save money by just saying, babe, every day is Valentine's. You know I love you the same every day. It makes a lot of sense if I buy you the flowers on another day that's not today when you don't expect them. It will feel so much better if it's a surprise.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. And then you save money.
Okay, fair enough, yeah. I mean, I agree. I'm going to agree with you on that. But
Because
at
we've
the
been in
same
100 days of
time,
January.
Yeah, we've been 1,000 days of January. But at the same time, something small will really go a long way with a babe. I'm telling you now.
you know, by simply associating with you, people earmark me as one from the Stingy Men's Association. I've never
This is
been
the president
that.
of the organization.
Who is that?
I don't know
Nasa is
about
the
the
president of the
Listen, I
organization.
don't know about the Stingy Men's Association.
Hey.
I do not condone it. I think, guys, spend your money on your girlfriends, spend your money on your wives, spend your money on both your girlfriend and your wife if you
Exactly.
have both. I don't know, spend your money on your sister, your mother, and all that.
Yeah.
Also, ladies, spend your money. Give us money.
Release the funds.
Give us
now,
money, ladies. Because ladies these days have so much more money than men.
Stingy,
Do you
bro.
know how quickly a
God
man will
damn.
fall in love with a woman who gives him money?
I know.
Quick.
Give him your Visa card. If it fails, it's the thought that counts, but give him that Visa card.
If it just declined,
Yes.
I couldn't
Yes.
have my
Give your
girl.
boyfriend your Visa
Listen,
card.
I couldn't have my girl give me a card and it declined.
Yeah, but it's the thought that counts. Like,
That's
at least give him
crazy.
your Visa card, give him the PIN. First withdraw all your money, then give him the Visa card
Hey,
and the
so
PIN.
that he feels special.
And this man will feel special.
It doesn't feel special.
This
But
is
better
how-
for me. If you dare to give me your card, I'm running up it. My God.
Listen, and this is how I
Overdraft.
conclude the show, okay? Because we have to go, really. We have news coming up
Yeah.
next. If your woman really loves you,
She'll give you her card.
she will give you the spend.
Have you had that thing of Ati?
Women have money,
They do have money.
a lot of it.
I want to tell you. Have you had that thing of I only spend the first month? That's
So
the
what about
recruitment
the
budget?
Stingy Women's Association? What do you have to say about that?
It's too big. It's too big.